I think the music is a little too loud. I think my voice, it's okay. Okay, so I just gotta finish this one. It feels like my mic audio is off. Check. I think it sounds okay. I mean, there's not that much left to do on this drawing, so hopefully I can finish it tonight. I mean, I say that, and then it's gonna take me another like 5 hours. And I mean, if it takes me another 5 hours, it takes me another 5 hours. At least I feel like I've learned a lot doing this one. especially when it comes to basically drawing or following the reference with my eyes. I guess training my eyes is what I've learned most about doing this drawing. I do feel like I'm better at following the reference without getting lost. I feel like I'm gripping the pencil too tight. I was just like, I have to remember to loosen my grip. And to build up these values in slow, deliberate layers. Okay, I'm gonna commit to this part right here by scraping off the charcoal. This is kind of like a straight line right here. Hey Alec, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by, hanging out. Happy Wednesday. Sorry about your job situation. It looks kind of like artificially wider than the other white areas, but maybe I can scrape it a little bit more. Yeah, it is what it is. It's all good. I'm still getting through that decision. They were downsizing, so they let me go. Yeah, I mean, but it just happens, right? And I think it's all about your reaction and your attitude. I think you have the right attitude right now. It was my favorite job of the two. I thought I was going to stay there till the end of the year at least. Were you planning on leaving after that? Is it a job related to accounting? The CEO asked me if I had questions. I only had questions concerning my coworkers because I want them to have a job and I'm okay with being let go. Do you have a lot of coworkers that have families? Because that's always, the people who are affected the most, the people who rely on that job. I was planning on leaving after 2026 and no, not related to accounting. Were you planning on leaving because you'll be graduating this year? Yeah, that's the only reason. I mean, that makes sense. You know, once you graduate, it's not really good reason for you to stick around unless you need some time to look for a job in your field. Did they say anything about your time off requests? Or was it just like not even mentioned? Thinking of doing Uber on the side now instead of doing part-time on the weekend. They didn't, but my former manager would have proved it if I was still there. She told me she would last week, but even she didn't know I'd be let go as he called me. Oh wow. It must be like a small company, right? Like under like 50 employees if the CEO is calling you directly. Yeah, small. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what else can you really say to it, It's like, it just happens. And, yeah, I mean, Uber seems like a good, what's the word? Transitional job, between full-time. I don't know about doing Uber full-time. That seems kind of hard. But like you said, like, just on the side. 100 employees. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty small still. Yeah. Did they give you a specific reason for why they let you go? Or was it mostly just kind of like general, like the economy, etc.? They just said we are losing money and we need to let some positions and departments go. So you weren't the only one who was let go? Since I only work Saturdays and some Sundays, they let me go. Oh, okay. So they started with the part-timers. Yeah, that's usually what they do, right? Spoken to my coworkers, but I'm sure some were let go. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, people, not too many people, and that those who work can land on their feet okay. It's also harder when you're older, you lose your job. It's hard to bounce back. In addition to Uber, were you looking at any other positions? Yeah, I only make like 50 a week there since I only work maybe 5 hours a week. $50 a week, $200 a month. It's not bad. It's something. And you could definitely make that using or with Uber. I think probably, yeah. Well, I don't know about in 4 or 5 hours. I've never done Uber, but from the little I know, it's like average, full-time day is like 130, 150 take home. But I'm not an expert, So I don't actually know. But it must pay something, people are doing it. Yeah, that's why I was worried about my coworkers, because they are older than me. That's why my only 2 questions were, was I the only one, and who was still there? That's good on you, and I think that says a lot about the person you are and your character, that, you can understand and see outside of your own circumstances and see the circumstances of other people around you. Not everybody everybody does that. The 200 month was just gas money, to be honest, but it's the only reason I kept it, also because I love people. Yeah, with the right people, like, you can pretty much do any kind of job. If you feel very connected, you know, with the people you're around. Yeah, most of my friends question why and if I still work there. And I'm like, have you ever gone into our shops? My coworkers are freaking amazing. That's nice. It makes a big difference to have people that you like around you. And then if you do Uber, you're gonna have customers, you know. So hopefully, there's not too many unruly customers out there. I don't know what they call it. Pickups? Clients? One of the jobs I had years ago, I had a hard time doing it, and so I decided I had to quit. But one of the reasons why I sort of questioned and hesitated quitting for longer than I probably should have was because my manager was like so good. Like she had worked herself up in the ranks, and so she understood the job, and she was very good at her job, and she was understanding, and you know, it's just like it's pretty rare to have, at least in my experience, to have a manager, a supervisor, a boss who is, you know, in the trenches with you and asking you to do things that, you know, they do themselves. Those are usually the kinds of managers that I like, the ones that lead by example. Yeah, I hope it's okay with Uber. Yeah, I hope it's okay with Uber too. It will be, I'm sure. You know? Yeah, my manager did that. She was great. So did our leads. They were amazing. Yeah, and when you don't have that in another job, you really appreciate it when you do, because it's like such a, you know, the person who's like giving your assignments and tasks, they easily can make or break whether a job is good or not. And it's usually like the most like down-to-earth, humble kind of people who always make the best kinds of managers and supervisors, you know? The people who aren't like power tripping, but who are actually looking out for the team and trying to get things done. Yeah, I didn't want to get another job and then ask for a 50-day time off because that would be. That's true. I didn't think about that, but yeah. They're like 50 days. You know, hey, we can give you a lot more than that if you want. I don't think I could ever be a manager or a supervisor of anything. I think it's just too stressful. You know, you kind of have to deal with everybody's problems because everybody's problems are your problems, you know? And usually a lot of people are ungrateful for what you do for them. And so at the end of the day, you're like, you know, why am I doing this? And then, like, if you have people with, you know, attitudes, or you just don't see the bigger picture of what you're all trying to do, it's just like, you know, convincing a toddler to do something. Yeah, I was lead and now I don't want to be one ever. What did you experience? What are some of the issues that you ran into? The few times that I've been in like a leader position, I'm always surprised by how childish a lot of adults are, and how they just kind of like refuse to make their lives easier. Because it's like, you know, if you do this, you're making your life and my life harder. But if you just kind of like readjust that a little bit and you kind of go out of your way and inconvenience yourself a little bit and do this, you know, it's going to be better for you in the long run. And I think a lot of people are just like, no, I want the easier option right now. A lot of requests for like time off initiative, attendance, and making people do stuff. Yeah, and it's like their problems are your problems just because you're the lead. Yeah, they're so childish. Yeah. Yeah, I guess for me it was surprising to realize that, you know, just because you're an adult doesn't mean you've grown up. You know, growing up is a series of choices and determinations that one needs to make. And just getting older doesn't mean you're getting wiser. Like, you gotta you gotta pay attention and recognize your mistakes and work to correct them. Otherwise, you're just going around the same merry-go-round, you know? Getting the same results every time. I mean, also, there's a lot of people who have stuff going on in their personal lives, you know, that you could never imagine. And so, yeah, the sum of a human being is not on the surface. I'm gonna have a donut break and temporarily mute myself. Okay, I'm pretty much just focused on this area right here. I saw a video on YouTube today of like a pro artist doing a drawing, and they're using an electrical eraser, and I thought that's a really good idea. Just not only is it sort of easier to like apply pressure, but I think you can get a little bit more precise with your lines, kind of erase a little bit more cleanly. Actually, yeah, it's kind of like an electric toothbrush. It's got like it's basically like a cylinder, and it spins the eraser head. I had no idea that this existed. Yeah, me either until a few months ago. And I was like, why would I ever need an actual eraser, you know? I can just erase manually. But now I see the foolishness of my youth from a couple of months ago. Because if I had an actual eraser, I could just hold it up and just be like, you know? But so is the folly of youth. I think I'll probably. I can't articulate my mouth. I think I'll probably get one eventually. And maybe even a desk easel instead of using this book holder, so that every time I move the paper it doesn't like bang. You know, it's not a perfect setup, but we're getting there. In addition to these drawing streams, I was thinking about other streams that I would be interested in doing. Tell me what you think about these ideas. Okay, so the first one is sort of related to my interest in typewriters recently. And so it would be typewriter art on stream. So still in the art category, but just basically using my typewriter to do some drawings. I think it'd be cool, because I don't think I've seen anybody do that on Twitch. So I think it'd be kind of like unique. So that's my first idea. And then the second idea I've had is something that I've always thought about doing, is a YouTube channel that does not movie reactions, well, I guess kind of movie reactions, but I don't know if you're familiar with Mystery Science Theater 3000. Just basically watching bad movies or old movies and just sort of like cracking jokes. That's kind of like a commentary, you know. And so for that idea, I think it would be in the, I don't think there's a movie category on Twitch, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that would be the just chatting category, which by sheer number is the biggest category on the website. So I think, that would be more like more of a way to get an audience, or to build the audience, because I have an audience, but like to get people, and then if they like what I'm doing, to also join the drawing streams, because I don't want to stop doing the drawings. Like, that's, to me, that's like the big thing that I'm doing on Twitch. But just to kind of like shake things up, and sort of grow. The art category is it's like a flower pot, and like, it's good, but at the same time, like, there's only so big you can be, right? And so this is more about like trying to get planted in in the soil, in the dirt. Yeah, so those are my ideas. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, just chatting as big as. Yeah, by like a lot. Like it's not even close. And I think it's such a broad category that like you could really fit a lot into that. And I've seen people who are like, like artists, and they're drawing and they're in the just chatting category. So it's like I don't want to do that, because I know if I were a viewer, I would be annoyed by that. It's like, you're not in the right organization here. But yeah, I mean, just to like try to get my channel out there, and see if people like what I'm doing. Yeah, those are great ideas. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if and when, I'm gonna start doing those things. I think I kind of want to keep streaming the way I've been streaming for a little bit more, maybe a few more weeks, so that way I can, kind of like the minor leagues, and kind of really get my fundamentals down before venturing into the bigger leagues, the major leagues, which I kind of think of as the just chatting category. But who knows? Maybe I'll like wake up tomorrow and be like, "Yep, it's time to do movie riffs." And the riffs would be public domain movies. There's a lot of movies. The movies made before, I think, like 1931, and then like a lot of movies after, don't have any clear copyright holder, and so I figure that'd be pretty safe for like VODs, because I don't think anyone's gonna be like making strikes against me for that. My friend has done just chatting for a bit and has progressed a lot. What have you noticed that they're doing differently? Because like you look into the just chatting category, and the streamers with like more viewers typically tend to be women, And so I've been thinking like, okay, like as a guy, like how do I break through, And I think the answer is just to, do what I'm doing, and let time and consistency really show people whether they whether they vibe with what I'm doing or not. Because I think that's really what it's about. Like, do you vibe with a streamer or do you not vibe with them? And if you vibe with them, then I think it really doesn't really matter what category they stream in usually, you know? Like, you'll watch them pretty much do anything, right? Just because, like, you like what they're doing, you like their personality, you like the way they do things and approach things. She has just opened up more personality-wise. That's pretty much it. That's good. It is, it does sort of make me wonder, like, how people who have, like, you know, tens of viewers, like, how do they keep track of chat and people saying things? And you really have to put yourself out there, you know? Did she tell you why she started streaming? Like, why she wanted to? Sometimes she doesn't read my chats, which I don't mind. Kind of like when Wavy doesn't read mine. Although Wavy has less viewers. But I'm 100% sure it's tough getting through all of them, so I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I don't have tens of viewers, you know? But yeah, I just kind of like think about that. Especially with like people who have like 1,000 viewers. It's like how, like you can't connect with people, you know? You're just reacting to the most sort of like surface level activity going on, and then you gotta bounce to another person, and then so on and so forth. I like how you. I like how Wavy just like catches a stray right there. Yeah. She wanted to start streaming because she had lost many friends throughout life, so she just started. She had lost many friends? Like, lost connection with? Or they passed away? Started streaming one day. Yeah. I mean, pretty much anyone can do it, you know? It takes a little bit to... The learning curve is a little bit high because if you're on a PC, you gotta download OBS and get it set up, but it's not... The learning curve is not that high.
But it's like you said, it's not on purpose. Yeah, it's just kind of hard to juggle stuff when you're on stream. Both past and lost connection. That's kind of interesting that, she would, or she decided that streaming was a way to fill that gap in her life. It's almost, I don't know what kind of phenomenon it is, when streamers start treating their, the aggregate chat as a single entity. Instead of a bunch of individuals, it's they start calling, chat is as if it's a whole separate individual. I don't know, it kind of feels or when streamers do that and I'm watching them, it kind of feels like my presence being erased a little bit. Because you're part of the hive mind. You're not an individual chatter anymore. I'm closer to my other friend and it's more annoying when she doesn't read mine. I've known her for 4 years. Why isn't she reading mine? But then I see 100 viewers and I'm like, oh yeah, that's why. Yeah, 100 viewers. Yeah, imagine if in real life 100 people were talking to you at the same time. Or even half of that, because a bunch of people are lurking or whatever. It's okay, hold on. What did you say? Oh, let me go back to that real quick, and then if you're playing a game, chances are you're gonna miss chats because you're focused on the game, Things to think about, for when you stream. It's got to be around 5K viewers. Your friend has 5,000 viewers? Dang. They must be a full-time streamer. I follow Sasha Grey, which I know she's a porn star, but she pulls around 700 to 1K viewers, but can still get through found amount of chats by 5K chats now. Yeah, there's definitely a tipping point where that's I don't even chat someone who has 1,000 viewers. I wouldn't even bother chatting because your comments just get swallowed up, so it's if no one's reacting and the chat isn't being read, it's what's the point? Now my friend has 5,200 normally. That's still pretty good. You probably can make a good part-time living off of that. I don't know what the exact number is when you can comfortably go full-time. video games, so I know she's got her hands full. Yeah, that's the other thing too. If you're like doing something that requires concentration, you're even less likely to be able to keep up with all the chats, read them, think about them, respond to them. It's just a very interesting thing to think about, the nature of streaming. What is your goal for streaming? And I had to think a long time before I started streaming. Why did I want to do this? What did I consider a success? What did I consider a job well done? What was I looking for out of it? And I ultimately landed on having the opportunity to one, practice drawing, which I was starting to kind of like lag behind and feel a little burnt out, or not even burnt out, but like I guess uninspired is might be one way of phrasing it. I just wanted to and need to switch things up, and so that was one reason. But the other, more important reason was that I thought it would be cool and interesting for people to see someone struggle making art and hopefully inspire them to be like, oh, this guy is not a artistic genius. Because a lot of like artist streamers, they're like really good. And I always thought like, we need someone who's not good. Kind of like how, like every Olympic cycle, people are always in the comments of like Olympic videos, they're always like, you should put a regular person in this 100-yard or 100-meter sprint, because then we'd really get a gauge of how amazing these athletes are. So I guess I kind of feel like the average person in a field of Olympians. And I think that's good for people to see. Visibility is like, it could be very uplifting, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I can see Chet going a little wild, so I'm here, and she knows that as long as Chet is going, I won't say much. Yeah, because it's, your chats are going to be swallowed up. It's not how it used to be where I was the only chatter mostly. Now I can barely get a word in if I'm lucky. Yeah, that's happened to me too, where like a streamer I've watched and liked just blew up, and it's kind of like, you're happy for them, but it's also like, oh, I can't enjoy you I can't enjoy watching your stream the same way, you know? I'm a mod for her too, but I demote myself sometimes because I don't like being mod. I like being VIP. I mean, VIP is all the prestige of being a mod without any of the responsibility. You don't have to be watching chat. I'm just guessing, like, I've never modded anyone's chat, so I don't know. But I kind of imagine that's what you do most of the time, just hanging out. You know, if someone says something off, you step in. Dang, and I was gonna offer to make you a mod, Alec, to control all the ruffians in chat. Get some semblance of order in here. I'm an innocent bystander. You're like, don't look at me. One person says dumb things almost every day. It's kind of... Is it related to her being, to like her gender? Like, is it like that kind of dumb things that they're saying? I could if necessary. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, if in the future you want to be a mod, yeah, you're an OG. No question. It's the only reason I mod her sometimes is from the only person chatting, but no mods are around. That's good. It's like unpaid labor. Which is why not that anyone's offered, but like which is why I wouldn't like being a mod. You have to do it for the love of the game, you know. And there's only a few things I would commit that time to. Too, because she has a Luigi flag on her wall. She's emo, so she gets it for that other stuff too. A Luigi Mangione? Or a Luigi Super Mario Brothers? It's like I'm trying to like piece together what, you know, what's political about Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, I am, not the game. Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, people saying dumb things about her preference for video games. Yeah, the New York City guy. And she's emo. Yeah, that's the thing about being online, you know, putting yourself out there. It's very low threshold for people to just kind of like say dumb things and people forget there's a person who's streaming, you know. Kind of like how I feel like people forget that, you know, when you're driving, people forget that there are human beings in other cars. They just kind of like treat the cars like machines or like, you know, herds of cattle. It's like, no, like there's a person in the car, you know, there's a person who's sitting in the room streaming or whatever. Oh, I heard a kick or something on the baby monitor. I have it right here. It's right there. But yeah, lots of things to think about, and just the nature of being a human in the year 2026, having these mass communication devices available to us, and you know, what does that mean? What does that mean for our sense of self and our sense of society and culture and all that? But yeah, Alec, if time ever comes when I'm in need of a mod, you know, if you don't mind, I mean, you don't have to, too. I don't really ever imagine my stream getting to the point where I have hundreds of chatters at the same time. You know, even the top art streams usually only get like 100 people. And those are people that have been streaming for years, you know. It takes a while to build up that kind of audience. She's emo and wears a choker a lot, but she gets guys who are misogynistic because of how she looks. They think she's submissive and we have to ban them, like, months later. I don't think she thought she was going to get 50 plus, but here we are, so you never know. It's true. But I will say, without sounding crass, if you're a female streamer, I think the chances are a little bit higher. Just because of the nature of the Twitch audience. And if, you know, you're attractive or you're cute or, you know, you're good looking, you know, even more like probability. Most guys I watch have thousands of viewers, except for 2 of them. 3, actually. Yeah. Kind of like what you said, like, you really just never know, you know? You never know, like, who's going to blow up and who's not, you know? I really only watch like 8 streamers, and I have to choose some days who to watch. Yeah, me too. Actually, I actually probably like I follow. I don't know, not that many. I think maybe like 20 streamers, and at any given moment, there's like 5 to 7 who are online, and then of those, maybe I'll, you know, like watch one. Surprisingly, 5 of the 8 streamers that are live right now, and I follow our guys. Maybe that says more about your viewing habits, you know? I guess just anecdotally, when I'm like browsing the just chatting, it's from what I see, it's like mostly women. But I don't know if, you know, like Twitch puts you in like a funnel of your audience interests. That could be it too, you know. I usually lurk. Me too. One is Casio and Speed and Snoop Dogg. What does Snoop Dogg do on stream? I mean, other than, you know, his favorite pastime. Okay, let me know. Bro's watching music videos. His own. He's like, what I was going for. The theme of this music video is geraniums. And that's kind of like what I was saying, you know, like like it doesn't really even matter what he's doing, you know. People who like Snoop are gonna watch his stream, you know, whatever he's doing. And so once you find that audience, you know, you have a lot of freedom to do different things. He normally doesn't stream, so I don't know why he's even on right now. Oh, maybe he's he's at a loose end on Wednesday night. He's like, there's nothing good on TV. What should I do? He'd be streaming randomly. Yeah, there's some interesting celebs who stream, you know? Like Snoop, I guess. I didn't know he'd stream. But Justin Bieber also, I seen him streaming. And he was in the studio just like messing around on a piano and you know, like the behind the scenes of making music. And to be honest, it was kind of boring. Just because I feel like unless you're part of the process, you know, just watching people make music or do I guess drawing. For me, it's kind of like, and also he wasn't really interacting with chat. I think that was the big thing. It was just like a fly in the wall of the studio, but he wasn't like reading chat messages or reacting or responding very much. So I kind of found that boring too. He plays Madden when he streams, no cam, no mic most time. That's so goofy. It's just like, it could be anyone playing a random game of Madden. He looks like he has a whole setup, so it's surprising. Didn't he have like a podcast or like a chat show thing? I remember seeing some videos of him like sitting behind like a news anchor desk or something. I've seen Bieber stream once playing basketball. Yeah, just kind of like random stuff. Nah, just didn't see any acknowledgments. Okay, so it wasn't just that one time. Yeah, I mean, I find it boring to watch people do random things and not be like interacting. Like, I don't think I would watch a normal person just playing basketball and not interacting. So it's like, I'm not going to do it for Justin Bieber. Just because he's Justin Bieber. think Snoop does have a podcast. Maybe that's where all the equipment is from then. He's like, I have all this equipment, might as well not use it. It's probably just a way for him to kill time, you know? Alright, dude. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night. And get some good rest. I'm probably gonna end stream in a little bit anyway. But yeah, take care. Okay. I think I'm gonna put some finishing touches, and then that's gonna be it for this one. Finishing touches with my 6B. Okay, I think I'm done. What is this? Plate 9? Yes, finished. I'm so proud of myself. It's not perfect. In fact, it's very far from perfect, but it's done. And I learned a lot. And I got some good practice. And I think that's a good place to end it. Thank you so much for hanging out, for watching my stream. Have a good rest of your night. Take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves. And next time, plate 10. Bye.